Good deal.
Have you seen that the launch of before we got on? Sarah Hunt showed me a picture he saw on, what is it, Reddit,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
someone trying to download Elder Scrolls Online, and it said more than a year left before you finish your download, and he's just like,
right.
oh, look at this poor bastard. And he was talking about how shitty the Elder Scrolls Online launch was. If you
Yeah.
think that was bad, check out the No Man's Sky launch. Man,
Mm,
that has
yeah, I've heard. I've heard.
that has been a gigantic universe-spanning, procedurally generated train wreck.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and that's what I've been hearing. Everybody's having a fuckload of issues with it, especially on PC, I think. The PC people are getting the shittiest version. PlayStation's got a bunch of problems too. But I was really looking forward to that, kinda. Like when there was so much hype surrounding that fucking game, and then I was thinking it's big. That was like the big selling thing. It's huge. There's a lot of places to be, and I was like, this could be this has the potential to be really fucking boring.
Yeah,
I haven't played it yet, but it looks fucking boring.
yeah,
So far from what I've seen. Like it looked good in the trailer because it was just, hey, look, here's a planet, here's a fucking weird octopus buffalo animal.
yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool, right? And then
Yeah,
where it's like
there was
it
this
all
great.
looks like half horse with a frog head or
Yeah,
some
there was
shit.
this great post. There was this great post on Twitter. I forget who it was, but it was saying, the trailer versus the reality, and the trailer showed these massive dinosaur-looking creatures, and it was playing the theme from Jurassic Park. It's like dun 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 dun, and then it said the reality, and it shows this creature. It's like walking around on these pudgy dinosaur legs. It has like this barrel hippo body and this stubby tail, and it has these dinky little horse hooves flailing around in the air, never touching the ground. And he's playing the same Jurassic theme song, only on like a kazoo.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
That was fucking hilarious.
Just from what I've heard, like I know somebody that has it, and I was like, okay, why don't you, as you're playing this, because you got it on day of, right? So I said, why don't you just send me some screenshots as you're discovering shit, right?
Yeah.
And he sent me, I want to say 15 to 20, just over the span of a day or two, and I was like, okay, it's all the same shit.
Yeah.
Right, like yeah, and then like it's well, you can name your planets and all this shit. So like if it was me, I'd the first one I told him was Planet Starbucks, like it's a Fight Club reference, and then just Kanye West, the Kanye West system, and fucking I mean that's the kind of silly shit that I would be naming everything. And like other than that, I'm like, I don't know, this seems pretty shitty. Maybe some other people have played it and can set me straight, but I was going to buy that game. I'm not so sure I'm going to now. Until it's like
just be
it's like
glad you
10.
didn't pre-order.
No, absolutely.
Someone else posted a thing. It's like the something about the designer and how sorry he felt, and it was just a picture of someone from a movie drying their tears with little stacks of money.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit. What are they saying? Are they commenting on like the response to it or what?
They're like a totally tone deaf response. Totally tone deaf response. Like, oh yeah, well, no game's perfect. Oh geez, you guys, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Got it. Excellent. So in other words, it ain't gonna get any fucking better. Got it. Perfect. That's how you can tell. It's like as soon as you criticize somebody, they just start like rationalizing and justifying all the shitty parts of what they just put out.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, so yeah, you're gonna do nothing. You did all this. You did all this fucking work. Now you're gonna do nothing. You're just gonna ignore all the critiques. Got it.
The thing is, with all the money from the pre-orders, you'd think they could outsource. I mean, that's what I'm doing with my game. I had such a hard time finding any freelance coders that I just went and I hired an actual professional, right? And he's expensive, but his work is solid,
Right.
And it's like, if you guys make this game where it's, generating the universe and it's still crashing left and right, just spend the $35 an hour to go online, find a freelancer from fucking Timbuktu who can go in there and throw in what's called an exception handler here and there, so your game doesn't fucking crash every 15 seconds. And voila, you still have you still have this gigantic pot of Leprechaun gold left over from all those pre-orders.
No shit, dude. Yeah, you would think. We'll see. I don't know. Usually, when the response is kind of like you described, it's not going anywhere good. You know, you can usually tell. And that part baffles me because, like, you hear the fucking stories of those guys, like when they were developing the game and they had the fucking office flood and they were getting ready to phone it in, but they'd already shown it to the public. They're getting ready to say fuck it, so they just kept going. And like, so you go through all this shit, and you work your ass off to some extent on doing this, and then you get some criticism, and you're like, what is it? Like, we thought we were done? like, is that it? Like, we thought we'd just like pack it up. That was the end of it, or some shit. And, every game has problems. Yeah, I'll fix them.
You know what's funny is, in order to make their game passable, other than all the technical issues, all they'd have to do is add a story mode that's like Trials and Tainted Space, right? Trials and Tainted Space has a good core story in that it suffices for what the game is, right? You have an ultimate goal that's made clear from you right away, right? And you have a rival, and it's like, okay, go to these planets and find these, this trail of, Reese's Pieces on these different planets before your rival does. And every time you arrive a little early or a little late, and there's some conflict there, right? And then you meet people and do shit on the way, right? It's like they created a donkey, they created a stick that goes, extends out in front of the donkey's face. They have the string that dangles down, and they just forgot the carrot. So you just have a donkey standing there like an idiot, staring at a piece of string on a stick, and it's like all you had to do was add the carrot, and you'd have forward motion on your fucking donkey. That's all. That's all it really takes.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. It's like, you've done all this shit already. Why not just a little more? Yeah. I don't know. That fucking attitude's bizarre to me.
Yeah, and you could even have that, work with the procedural thing. Like, for example, if you go in Skyrim, right? Skyrim's an old game by now. Jesus Christ! If Skyrim did something better than your game, you're a fucking asshole. Anyway, so Skyrim, you go to a fucking an inn. And you're like, I don't want to do a quest that involves a lot of talking and bullshit. Just give me a quest where I just go kill shit. And they're like, here you go, the Jarl wants to go kill shit. And it generates, a set of enemies like bandits or whatever the fuck in a suitable nearby location. You go, you kill it, and you pick the locks and you round the corner with your torch and you have your little adventure and explore-gasm, right? And that's it. That's all you got to do. That's all, and like just like this, all you have to do is say, okay, there's an objective, and you find a nearby planet in your generated universe or galaxy, whatever the fuck, and you go there, and it makes you jump through some hoops. I mean, players really aren't that hard to please when you really get down. They complain a lot,
sure,
but at the end of it's like if we were to draw like a graph, it's like how much players bitch and complain, that just would go up exponentially. But also, like, their expectations in real terms, in terms of what they will spend their time and money on, is just dropping precipitously to the point where they're on virtual treadmills and they don't really mind.
Right. That is true. Like, I mean, like, those games exist. The simulators, like, I like work simulators and shit. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, I'm there, like, well, I just fucking worked 8 hours at the burger joint. Here I'm going, hey man, look, burger simulator. This is fucking awesome, dude. Like, I'm like, what are you doing? Like at least play a game like, that play a game where you're doing something you have zero chance of doing. Right? Like, at least
just create like a zillion ships and be like, okay, if you do enough of this busy work, you get to buy this awesome ship that's like 5% faster. And they're like, oh fuck, dude, I gotta, it's not that hard.
No, it's actually, like, that's me all day. Like, I play the shit out of those kind of games. Like, goals, like these fucking impossible goals. You have to grind your ass off and that kind of shit. Like, I'm all about that. Don't know why. It's not, and it's not very demanding of a game developer. Like you
Well,
said, I play the shit out of ESO, and you know how many quests there are where some dude goes, "All right, here's what this involves. I need the following item. Here's the problem, though. It's surrounded by." Put any word there. Doesn't bandits, goblins, fucking giant octopus. Doesn't matter. Go kill the thing that's sitting on top of the thing. Bring it to me, and I'll give you some shit you want. I'll do that fucking all day, all fucking day.
Yeah. It's like, we need this plant. It's literally within line of sight of where we're standing.
Right.
I just can't be arsed to go over there.
Right. Sometimes they try. Like sometimes, my favorite part is where they go, "Get out of here!" Like this one dude, like one NPC, like I'd done all this shit for him, right? And I turned in the quest, and I'm standing there, this is on ESO, and he's like, "You can leave now. I have things to do." So I just stand there, and his things to do was just standing in front of his chair and staring blankly into the sky. Like it's just like, well, you know, he'd do this. He's gonna do this now for the rest of his existence. This is all the fuck he's gonna do. And I'm like, at least have the motherfucker walk off and like pretend to work or something, you know? And every once in a while they'll do that with an NPC, but generally they're just so full of shit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. It's kind of
like
just
they just didn't understand simple game flow, right? They just didn't understand simple game flow. It's like, look, you gotta like map this shit out. It's just ridiculous. Just fucking ridiculous. Because I mean, like it looks like the taking off and flying and coming down to the different worlds. You know, it looks like that could be interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Just load up. Okay, you know what I'd do? I'd load up a bunch of Star Trek episodes, and I just base the quests like each episode would be a quest. That'd be it. It's like, okay, you know, and this like I remember because I've been on a Star Trek marathon for a while, and like there's some real strengths and weaknesses based, you know, on some, you know, series and episodes. I mean, the original series is only like 3 seasons, and I barely got through it. It did not age well at all.
You said that. I've still not watched it.
Yeah, you know, it's like, I guess it's a box to check in terms of your knowledge of pop culture, and
right. That's kind of why I've always wanted to, but just I could never do it. Like my dad used to watch the shit out of it, and oh god,
it's missing something, and like there was this one. I was just a few episodes from being finished, and I was really looking like a marathon runner. I was like, I can't wait to cross this finish line because I really just don't enjoy the show. And then they're in their fucking spaceship, and out in space, on their monitor, Abraham Lincoln appears. And I was like, come on, show. Quit fucking with me.
Really? That happened?
Yeah, it's just Abraham Lincoln floating out there in space.
What the fuck?
They explain it.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if you were fucking with me or not.
No, it's just Abraham Lincoln floating out in space. It's like a fire photon missile or whatever at him. Just get the over with. 5-minute episode. Fuck it. It's obviously not really him.
Oh man!
But I thought, you know, it's like it was such an insult. It's like, dude, I've made it this far through your show. Why do the people who made the show have to just fuck with me like this? Like, here you go. In case you were, you know, I don't know what. Anyway, the point is, like, you could just do the same thing with the No Man's Sky or that style of game. It's like, okay, there's just, you go out in space and there's some kind of a fucking puzzle you gotta solve, thing you gotta shoot.
Right.
You know.
You know, something to do.
Yeah.
Other than fly around in space.
Right. And then what's the funny thing about that is there's this reverse psychology involved where if you give people a main quest, suddenly they start enjoying everything but the main quest more.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, you know, absolutely.
It's like picking flowers on the roadside is more fun when you know that you're supposed to be saving the goddamn world.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Or that you have some kind of goal, and I don't know, that is true. That actually does work, because, you know, you figure this main quest is here, but there's got to be some other shit that they've thrown in here for me to find, for me to do, for me, you know, and all that kind of thing. So it creates a sort of curiosity, I guess. But if you tell everybody, like, this is what you're getting, you're gonna fly around, you're gonna find the planet, you're gonna look around, you're gonna explore it. Sometimes you have to shoot shit. Not everything's gonna be nice, right? That kind of thing. That's it, huh? Okay, I
Yeah.
guess. And like some of the wildlife I've seen is just ridiculous looking. Like, dude, like, you expect me to believe that this fucking creature, like the years of evolution that's taken place in this particular planet, led to that? Why? Why does this motherfucker need these fucking giant tusks and these like fucking a foot off the ground and he has no legs? He's just fucking rolling. Like what is this ridiculous shit? Like saying he just hovers off into the sky, fucking sprouts wings out of his once flat back. Like what the fuck is going on with these fucking with the life?
They've already had some asshole from some blog or video game news site complain about like environmentalist concerns about that game. It's like, you go onto a planet, there's ostensibly like a billion fucking organisms on there. You shoot 2 of them and gather some, thing from them. And he's like, oh, well, what are the values does this teach? It's like you're just strip mining the whole goddamn planet. And you're like, not really. Like, you could be like, you could set out to do that and you couldn't because it's just, there's too much. You're like, I mean, it's, like, you can do it in Minecraft if you have mods. Like, if you have Minecraft and you're like, you can actually like build machines that just strip mine until like you've just defaced the whole landscape, right?
Yeah.
But you can't really realistically do that.
And what values does this teach? Who gives a shit? I don't want anybody asking that fucking question about anything that I'm doing for fun. All right, the answer is nothing. Zero, dick. Zero values is what this should teach. And fucking, by the way, like, we do this thing, like, all right, there's this other movie coming out called Arrival, I think is what it's called, and this girl is going to speak to aliens by learning their language, and she's going to translate their language from English, and we're going to have a conversation, right? But that's fine. Whatever, that's the plot of the movie. Whoop-de-doo. The problem is that in every one of these fucking human beings meet alien movies, like, one of 2 things happens. Like, first of all, we're always the good guys, right? Like, the fucking aliens show up and they just want everything. They're just gonna fucking suck all the resources out of the planet, fucking murder everybody they see, and then move on to the next. That's been like the last 15, 20 years of space or alien movies, right?
With the exception of like Avatar, where it's like the exact same theme. It's just that it's us doing the damage.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
it's basically like the like liberal versus conservative bare bones arguments and worldview.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. Like, are we, like, first of all, we always also make this assumption that aliens are going to be like better than us somehow, right? Just I suppose if they're traveling here, they might be, maybe, right? Who knows what circumstances that made their travel possible, things like that. But let's say, like, the probability is there's a lot of planets out there that are somewhere in the stage of their evolution where they're just fucking retards.
Yeah.
And they're just walking around just beating each over the head with fucking sticks or whatever the fuck they have. And they're just screaming shit. Like, I mean, they're just awful. And you mean to tell me that if we had the ability, as being what we are to each other on this fucking planet, if we had the ability to just show up like it was Wisconsin, we could just show up there, you mean to tell me we wouldn't just start beating them over the head and stealing shit? I mean, it's a fucking matter of time before we just start taking things and going, we're just going to borrow a little bit of this and, can you talk? Can you do maybe talk
can
about
you
this?
Swing a pickaxe?
Right. Let's maybe re-examine some of our old customs. I don't know. I just don't think we're always like so concerned, or would be anyway.
Well, the Civilization games.
Yeah.
They made this game, Civilization Beyond Earth, and I didn't get too much into it. I just started like the first part, and there's other civilizations also landing here and there, and I'm just exploring. And as I explore, I'm just gunning down the native, aliens.
Right.
They're not sentient. They're based, I guess they're not. They're just, creatures.
Yeah, I guess they're not. Fuck it. It doesn't really matter. They're getting shot.
Yeah, but I mean, they will attack you, like, if you're in the way. So, they're dangerous. So I'd go around and I'd just machine gun them down. And every once in a while, I'd get an angrily worded letter from one of the other civs. They're like, "We're not happy about." Just crumple that shit up and throw it in the wastebasket. Blow it out your ass. What are you gonna do about it?
Jesus, Just the whole idea that pisses me off about the what values are. Hopefully none. Like if any person that you know that is in your care is getting values from the shit they play on PlayStation, you're doing it wrong. You're fucking doing it wrong, dude. Like they need to be getting values from you, dipshit. You are there. That's your fucking job. God damn, dude.